Let us now start with profit and loss account. Now, before starting with profit and loss account, I must tell you one thing. See, as I have written at the beginning, the heading is trading account and profit and loss account. So, profit and loss account we will carry in the same format. Okay, first we have done with our trading account, then in the same format we are carrying up with profit and loss account. Understood? Now, next is, what will be your first item of profit and loss account? See, your first item to be entered to profit and loss account is nothing but the gross profit. As we have written here as gross profit CD, means carried down, and I have written clearly transferred to profit and loss account. So your gross profit will be the first item to be entered to your profit and loss account. When we are entering the same to profit and loss account, it should be on the opposite side. See, as we have written here, by gross profit BD. BD means brought down. We have brought it from trading. That's why we have written as transferred from trading account. Understood? Now, if there is a loss, then loss will appear to this side as by gross loss CD in trading, and we will transfer, when we will transfer it to profit and loss account, it will come to the debit side of profit and loss account. Okay. Achha. So this is the first item. Now, profit and loss account is meant for all indirect income and indirect expenses. Okay. So in profit and loss account, we are putting all indirect items. Okay. So trading account is meant for all direct, and profit and loss account for all indirect. Now, one thing I must tell you, indirect items may be numerous in number. So it is not possible for you to memorize all the indirect items. So one suggestion from my side, memorize all the direct items. See, direct items are very few in numbers. Except this direct item, you will not find any more direct items in your examination. Okay, so memorize all the direct expenses and direct income part. Except this direct income and expenses, whatever may be the other income and expenses given in your problem, consider it as indirect and put it to profit and loss account. Understood? So memorize your direct part, and rest income and expenditure put it to profit and loss. Okay, here I have mentioned few important indirect expenses and indirect income. You know, this debit side is meant for expenses, so we have written all indirect, important indirect expenses here, and indirect income in the on the credit side. First, indirect expenses. Salary, very important expenditure of a company. Salary the company is paying to the office and administrative staff who are not directly related to production. So salary is an indirect expense of the company. Rent the company is paying to the landlord, so rent is another indirect expense. Now, carriage outward is a transportation cost which we are paying to carry our finished product from factory to market. Okay, as now the material is going out, that's why the name is carriage outward. Mind it, carriage outward is a indirect item. Why? Because it is a selling and distribution item. Earlier we have done another carriage, that is carriage inward. Carriage inward is related to raw material, so it is a direct item. But carriage outward is an indirect item because it is related to selling and distribution. Understood? Next one, printing and stationery. Very important expenditure of an office. Okay, so will come as indirect. Insurance premium will also an indirect expenditure. Next, advertisement, again a selling and distribution expense. Sample distribution, selling and distribution expense, so will come here only. Electricity expense, very important expenditure of a company, so will come here. If it is electricity for factory, then it would have been written on the trading account. But if it is only electricity expenditure, it will consider to be indirect. Telephone expenditure will come here only. Interest, if the company has taken any loan, company has to pay interest for that, so this will come here only. Miscellaneous expenditure, many different kind of expenditures are taking place on and off in company. So all those expenditure will come as miscellaneous here. Next comes bad debt. What is a bad debt? Keep in mind, bad debt is a loss of the company. Okay, is a loss of the company. How bad debt arises? I will illustrate it with the help of a small example. Now look at this example. See here, XYZ Limited is our company. XYZ Limited has done two type of sell. One is cash sell, another is credit sell. Cash sell to M Limited, worth rupees 1 lakh. What is the meaning of cash sell? Cash sell means our company has sold the goods to the customer, M Limited, and M Limited has paid money in cash or check or demand draft, but immediately. That is cash sell. That means relationship between our company and M Limited gets over immediately. Done. Now come to credit sell. Now XYZ Limited has done a credit sell to ABC Limited, okay, to a customer called ABC Limited, worth rupees 50,000. Understood? And given a credit period means time period of 6 months. That means within 6 months, ABC Limited has to pay 50,000 rupees back to our company. Okay. Now what happened? Within this time period, when there is allowing of some time, it is called as your credit sell. Here the settlement of money is not taking place immediately. That's why it is called as credit sell. Understood? Now here what happened then? ABC Limited has declared insolvent within this 6 months period. Insolvent means bankrupt, financially dead. ABC Limited has declared financially dead within this period of 6 months. So what happened then? That means our company is not in a position to recover the whole amount from ABC Limited. How much our company has recovered? Somehow our company has recovered 50% of the due. Means 50,000 into 50%, 25,000. Company has recovered somehow. Rest 25,000 is irrecoverable amount. Irrecoverable amount. Why it is irrecoverable? If the position will not survive in, will not again, that person will not again revive in future. That means this person has completely financially gone. Okay. So this 25,000, which is the irrecoverable amount, that is nothing but the loss of the company. And this loss has been arises because of insolvency of the customer. And this loss has a name. It's called as what? It's called as bad debt. The debt which has declared bad. Okay. And always remember one thing. When it's a credit sell, the customer to whom we are selling goods is considered to be our company's debtor. So what is a bad debt? When we are not getting any money from any debtor because of insolvency, it is called as bad debt, which is the loss of the company. Okay. Now come to another thing. See, in business, debts are of 3 types. Good debt, doubtful debt, bad debt. What is good debt? Good debt means when there is 100% chance of getting money back, called as good debt. Okay. So debt means from where we will get money in future. So good debt means 100% chance that we will get in full. That is good debt. Doubtful means there may be 50-50 chance, there may be 80-20 chance, there may be 70-30 chance, means chances are there. And bad debt means completely financial loss. Okay. Now for this good debt, we don't have to create any provision. So what is provision? Provision means creation of fund. Okay. Keeping money to compensate future loss is called as provision. So if the debt is good, there is no need to create any provision here. But in case of this too, there is a need to create a fund called as provision or reserve Okay, what kind of provision we are creating? The name is provision or reserve for bad and doubtful debt. Means we are creating a fund to compensate a loss which may arises because of bad and doubtful debt. Okay, so this provision is we are creating to compensate any loss which may arise because of bad and doubtful debt. Okay, now this provision may be of two types. One is called as old provision. What is old provision? Old provision means, say last year we have created a provision of say 50,000, and last year there is a loss of around say 40,000. So there is excess balance of 10,000 in our provision account. So that we will consider for this year. So that is called as the old provision, means last year's provision. And last year provision is called as this year's income. Last year's provision is this year's income. And the provision which we are creating for this year is called as the new provision. New provision we are creating this year, okay, to compensate the probable losses. Okay, so this creation of provision is considered to be expenses of this year. Understood? So old provision means remaining balance of last year, that is considered to be this year income, and new provision is a new one which we are creating now. Okay, so this is your expense. Okay, next another one simple thing I need to tell you, that is, say first here I have discussed with you about credit sale and credit and cash sale. Now let us discuss about in brief about cash purchase and credit purchase. See, say our company has purchased goods from P Limited in cash. That means cash purchase means the relationship between P Limited and us gets over immediately. Means we have purchased the goods and paid money to P Limited immediately. Done. Now another is credit purchase. Credit purchase means, say we have purchased goods from G Limited on credit. Credit means we will pay money afterward. Now we will pay to G Limited afterward. Okay, after some time, maybe after 3 months, say maybe credit period we have been given for 3 months. So now up to this 3 months, unless and until we pay money to G Limited in full, G Limited, this particular supplier is known as the creditor of our company. Okay, so debtor means to whom we have done the credit sale, and creditor are the person to whom we have made the credit purchase. Okay, so creditors are the liability and debtors are our company's asset. Always remember, okay, because from debtors the company will receive money, and from creditor to the creditors the company will pay money in future. Understood? That's why creditors are always liability, because we have to pay money to them. Okay, now on the basis of the example I have illustrated, I am now again carrying on in the format. See, bad debt I have written here, as just now I have explained that bad debt is the loss of the company. All expenses and all losses will come to your debit side, indirect one. So bad debt, I have added further bad debt. What is further bad debt? That I will explain you. Further bad debt means the bad debt which happens afterward. Okay, which has not been included in books of accounts earlier. Okay, so that is called as further bad debt. So if there is any further bad debt, that is also been added with the actual bad debt. Okay, so this two will be added and total we have to write here only. Now in this, I will explain rest of the indirect item afterward. Let us come to the indirect income, which is there in this particular page. Indirect income first is any kind of received. Any kind of received is considered to be your indirect income, like discount received, commission received, interest received. Suppose the company is having a fixed deposit, from that the company is receiving interest, so this interest received will come here. Rent received will come here. Income from investment, we have done an investment from which we have earned income, so will come here. Then profit on sale of asset, profit on sale of asset will come here. Okay, if there is loss on sale of asset, obviously it will come to this loss side, means indirect expense side. Okay, now come to the next part. Okay, see the provision. I explained you just now that provision are of two type, new provision and old provision. Old provision is the income, means last year balance. Okay, see the old one I have written on the income side, indirect income side. What I have written here? Provision for the bad and doubtful debt, old. So old we have to consider as income, indirect income, and we have to put on the credit side here only. Now new provision, just now I said, is an expense. So new provision for bad and doubtful debt, new, we have written here on the expense side. If there is any discount received will come to the credit side. If there is any discount paid or allowed, will come here as an expense, indirect expense. Another thing is provision for discount on debtors. Okay, that also having two type, old and new. So always remember the adjustment will be just like the earlier one. Old provision for discount on debtor will come to the income side, and new provision for discount on debtor will come to the expense side. Okay, because new means you are creating now, so it's an expense. Okay, what else? Depreciation. You know, the term depreciation is known to you because depreciation is what? Depreciation is the reduction in the value of assets. See, we are using different type of assets in our business. Okay, so those assets are forever with us? Definitely not. That means this kind of assets are getting, and that means the value of this kind of assets are getting reduced year after year, and it may happen after few years there is a need of replacing those assets with a new one. Why did this need arises? Because of reduction in value of asset, called as depreciation. Keep in mind, this depreciation we are generally charging on fixed assets, okay, like land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, fixture. But one thing you have to keep in mind, land is not a depreciable asset, because generally the value of land increases. Okay, except land, building, machinery, plant, furniture, fixture, equipments, these are all subject to depreciation. So that depreciation percentage will be given to you. You have to charge it accordingly in your indirect expense side. Okay, so this is almost the important item. I told you that the items of profit and loss account may be numerous, so all the important items I have included. Now it's the time to balance. Okay, how to balance it? Again the same procedure. We have to add credit side and find the total. We have to add debit side and find the total. We have to see which side total is the higher one. That higher total we have to put here, okay, in this box. Okay, say our total of credit side is 10 lakh now. So 10 lakh and the total of this side is say 9,80,000. So this 10 lakh is more. So 10 lakh I have to put in this box, and here also. This side, this means debit side total is coming to 9,80,000. Okay, that means this is the shorter one. So balance will come to this shorter side only. So income is more, expenditure is less. That means there is again a profit. And now this profit which we are getting from profit and loss account is called as net profit. What does it called? Net profit. Okay, so net profit we are getting from our profit and loss account. Okay, so we have to write like this, net profit. So balance will be 10 lakh minus 9,80,000, 20,000 will be your net profit. Okay, which we have to put here, and we have to write like this, transfer to balance sheet. We have to transfer this profit to balance sheet. Okay, so like this. Now I will tell you a very important thing, very important one, how to do the calculation of this two, that is new provision, that means new provision for bad and doubtful debt, and this one, provision for discount on debtor new. How to calculate this one is a very important one. Now look at the calculation part. See here what I have written here, calculation for provision for bad and doubtful debt new, provision, you can write reserve also, reserve for discount on debtors new, and sundry debtor new. Okay, now if you scroll the earlier part, I have given you one example, okay, of cash sale and credit sale. I told you that in case of credit sale, you will find a party called as debtor. All this bad debt, this good debt, all are related with this debtor. Okay, now first of all we have to write the debtor balance as it is given in your problem. So here I have written sundry debtor as per trial balance, whatever is given in the problem we have to write that amount here. From this sundry debtor we have to deduct only further bad debt portion, not the total bad debt. Further bad debt portion. Why we are deducting only further bad debt? Because this further bad debt we haven't considered yet. Okay, so further bad debt we have to deduct here only. Okay, not the total one, mind it. So further bad debt, whatever may be the amount, we have to deduct from this. Whatever may be the balance, say XY is the balance. Okay, on this amount you will be given with a provision. Okay, provision, that calculate provision for bad and doubtful debt 5%. Okay, so we have to write that like this, 5% provision for bad and doubtful debt new. So this 5% we will calculate on this XY amount. Okay, after deduction of further bad debt. Okay, so on XY amount we have to charge this 5%. Okay, so whatever may be the amount, that is your new provision for bad and doubtful debt, which we have to write here. Okay, next comes to, say the balance is now XYZ. Now we have to calculate, say 2%, say it is 2% provision for discount on debtor new. So this 2% we will charge on which amount? On this XYZ amount. On XYZ we will charge 2%. So this will be your new provision for discount on debtor, which should be written here. Provision for discount on debtor new. So we have to write this amount here. Now after deducting your further bad debt, your new provision for bad and doubtful debt, your new provision for discount on debtor, say the balance is WXYZ. This balance is called as your new sundry debtor balance. Sundry debtor balance new. Okay, this, because debtor, I told you earlier, debtor is the asset of the company, because from debtor the company will receive money. So debtor is the asset, so definitely it will go to balance sheet. Okay, so which amount will go to balance sheet now? Not this one. Now this amount will go to balance sheet. Okay, transfer to balance sheet. So this is the process of calculation. Now I will discuss another very important point which you will find in your problem, that those are having dual adjustments. Okay, there are 4 items. One is called as outstanding expense, another is called as prepaid expense, another one is called as accrued income, and the last one is pre-received income. So what is the meaning of this 4? First come to outstanding expense. These are having dual adjustment. Dual adjustment means 2 times we are adjusting it. Outstanding means expenses due but not paid. Example, say we are paying rent to the landlord, okay, on a monthly basis. Rent, this is the month of April, rent for the month of April is due, but we haven't yet paid it. So this is called as outstanding expense. So if there is any outstanding expense, that will be added with the respective head. See, the rent is an expenditure, indirect expenditure, which we are putting to profit and loss account. So with this rent head, we will add outstanding rent. Okay, this is the first adjustment we have to do. Secondly, the status is what? Payable, because see, any expenditure which is due but not paid, the status is payable. Now there are four things I need to explain you first. That is paid, payable, received, receivable. What is the meaning of paid? Paid means expenditure done. What is the meaning of payable? Payable means which we have to pay in future. Means it's your liability. It's your liability, and this is your expense. Understood? Now payable means we have to pay in future, so it is our liability. If I say received, received means it's our income which has already been generated. If I say receivable, receivable means we will receive in future, means this is considered to be our asset. Understood? So similarly, if you see this one, outstanding means this is the status is payable, we have to pay it in future, and any payable is your liability. What type of liability? Your current liability. Understood? Because it is payable. These are the dual adjustment. Okay, now come to the next one. See, prepaid expense. Prepaid, from the name only we can have an idea that we are paying in advance. So the expense is paid before the due date. Suppose what we have done, we have paid the rent for the month of April, along with that for the month of May. So May due date has not yet come, but we have paid it. This is called as prepaid. Any prepaid expense, if it is given, that should be subtracted with the respective head. Like rent, from this less prepaid rent, we have to subtract it like this. Okay, in profit and loss account. Another treatment is what? Any prepaid means paid before the due date is considered to be the asset. What type of asset? Current asset of the company. So it will go to directly to your balance sheet. Any asset, any liability will directly go to balance sheet. So this is current asset also. So that's why it will also go to balance sheet. So that's why these are called as the dual adjustment things. Okay. Come to accrued income. Like outstanding, the word accrued, the meaning is same, just like outstanding. Okay. But in case of income, we are not using the term outstanding. We are using the term accrued. The meaning is income due but not received. Say the company is receiving interest on something. Okay. So this month's interest means April month's interest is due, but we haven't yet received it. That is called as outstanding income. But for income, we are using the term accrued. Understood? The adjustment is same. See, outstanding we have added with the respective head. Like that, this accrued also we will add with the respective head. Okay. This is your interest received is your item of profit and loss account. So in profit and loss account, we will add this accrued interest with the interest figure. Okay, on the credit side. Another thing is that any like the status is what? We haven't received it yet, but that means we will receive it in future. Status is receivable, and I told you if there is any receivable, that is your asset. See? So this is also this accrued income is considered to be your current asset because the status is receivable. Understood? The last one, pre-received income. Pre-received means income received before the due date, in advance. Okay. So any income received in advance is called as pre-received. So pre-received income, say what? Interest we have received for the month of May in advance. Any pre-received, just like prepaid, must be subtracted with the respective head. See here, from interest received, I have subtracted pre-received interest in profit and loss account. Okay. Another adjustment is what? Any pre-received income is considered to be the liability of the company. Why? Because in the month of May, again we are not going to get that income. Okay. That's why it is called as the current liability and it will go to balance sheet. So these are called as 4 dual adjustment cases.